Hi everyone, I am going to go ahead and do the first step of our steaks before I'm actually ready to cook, so I don't have my tripod set up and my husband's working on a door. So if you hear anything, that's what it is. Let me tell you guys really quick what I've got to do and I'll show you. So the first step of the recipe is for the steak. You dry it, you pat dry it, you put some steak seasoning on it, and then you actually put it into the freezer because we're going to slice it up. So that's what I'm going to show you.
It appears as if I may have had some technical difficulties. I wish I had a cameraman to blame, but unfortunately this is a one-woman show. I cannot find the footage of what I did. Just trust me on this. I took the steaks, I patted them dry with paper towels, and I put seasoning on them, refrigerated them for about a half an hour, then put them in the freezer for a little bit. So let's move on.
We are ready to get our recipe started. I told you guys that I had the steaks started already as far as letting them sit with the seasoning on them. They can sit overnight, and then the recipe recommends that you put them in the freezer just so it's a little bit easier to cut them into thin strips when you go to cook the Philly meat. So we are doing Philly cheesesteak bowls. However, most likely we're going to eat them on bread. This is a low carb recipe from Pinterest, so I will put it down below so that credit is given where credit is due. So I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up the vegetables. So the first thing we have to do is chop up our onions and our peppers. And when I say chop, I mean slice. It called for 1 large onion. I've got 2 medium onions, but we love onions that are grilled up or fried or sauteed or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 onions. And then it calls for 2 peppers. So I'll slice these up and then I'll be right back. Take you guys over to the stove where we're going to go ahead and use some olive oil in our pan, and we're going to get this nice and hot. Now, while this is heating up, I do want to let you guys know that the reason why I chose this recipe is because it has cream cheese, heavy cream, and provolone. Now, I grabbed provolone slices, not thinking about it because I'm used to making Philly steak sandwiches with sliced cheese because you melt it on there. This is going to be a sauce that we're making because this is a low carb keto type meal. So I'm hoping the sliced cheese melts okay. Let's keep our fingers crossed. But for right now, let's go ahead and put you back on the tripod. Just so you guys know, I'm going to be adding a couple cans of mushrooms to this recipe. It is not in the recipe, but she did say in her comments that mushrooms are often added. I don't have any more fresh mushrooms that I need to use up, but I think some canned mushrooms in there will add some great flavor. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 small cans. And these are just, they're the pieces and stems. So, you know, you do end up with some weird pieces of the mushrooms and stuff, and they're certainly not as pretty. So we have got our veggies ready to go. We're waiting on the pan. We're going to go ahead and add mushrooms, but we're going to wait till towards the end to add those. So I'm going to go ahead and put them over by the skillet. We're going to go ahead and put our peppers and onions in our hot skillet. And we're going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper. And I'll put the recipe down below, but just so you guys know, on salt and pepper, I don't really measure it. going to take a half a cup of heavy cream. Make sure I shake that first, brand new. We'll go ahead and do a half a cup. And then, just so you know, it calls for a half a cup of cream cheese, which is 4 ounces, so it's half of the block. And I'm going to turn this heat on so we can start getting this warm. I just got Philadelphia cream cheese because that is what I found on sale. I do prefer Philadelphia, especially if I am doing a cheesecake or anything. It's well worth the price. I did have this sitting out for a little bit so it could come up to temperature. And then since everything else is cooking on this back burner here, I promised you guys I'd be doing some beef broth, so I'm going to go ahead and put those pieces of steak in there. Then I'm going to go ahead and put these pieces of onions and peppers. How many of you guys can do 2 things at once? I have a really hard time whisking and trying to stir my peppers and onions. That cheese sauce, I don't know. What do you guys think? Looks kind of weird, huh? That cheese is ridiculous. So our cheese sauce is pretty weird. And I'm thinking it's because I didn't get the right cheese. I tasted it. It tastes pretty good, but look at how stringy that is. You guys see that? I don't know, you guys. I'm going to have my husband taste this one sandwich with the cheese on it before I put cheese on the other. And if not, I don't think we have any more provolone, but we've got some other cheese we can put on them. Because here on this channel, just like my other channel, we're always here keeping it real. Okay, honey, come taste this.
Taste good?
All right, the hubby has tasted it. He says it is okay. It tastes good, but we've definitely got a weird consistency going on here. Look at this. Okay, everyone. So here is my sandwich. I'm going to go ahead and taste it. And we'll see. I'm here at the table. Let me see if I can take a bite of this. It's really good. I will definitely make these again. But next time I will get a block of cheese and grate it. We'll see. Maybe the cheese is supposed to be like that. You never know. All right, everybody, I'm going to go eat my sandwich. We're just having some chips with that tonight, and that is going to be our dinner. So thank you for joining me today for our first time trying this recipe. Recipe will be down below. You guys have an amazing night, and remember, keep on smiling. Bye. So that recipe is definitely a keeper. We will definitely make it again. I could see it being really good, not on the buns as well if you are going low carb. And just so you guys know, it did take me just about 30 minutes to make that recipe. So, and of course, I've got some beef broth going at the same time. So it is a quick, easy dinner. All right, everybody, till I see you guys next time, make sure you keep on smiling. Bye. It's me again. I did something after we made our sandwiches, and I gotta show you guys because it looks so much better. So I went ahead and put the rest of my cheese in with my meat and peppers and onions and mushrooms, and look at how much better that looks. So very much better. Now, don't get me wrong. We absolutely devoured our sandwiches. They were delicious, but look at how much easier it would have been for me to make a sandwich with this type of mixture instead of the mixture I was dealing with. So I definitely recommend just tossing it right in with the meat and cheese.